Hello friends, how are you doing? Welcome to Project Things. So for the past few tutorials I've got pretty positive response from you guys. So I thought I'll come back with a new project. So we're going to build online examination system and I'm going to use three latest technologies which are in really demand these days. We are going to use Vue JS, Python and Mongo DB. So without further ado, let's get started. So first let's plan out our project. So those of you who are familiar with MongoDB, you know it's a NoSQL database. That means it doesn't work the way MySQL or SQL Server works. It is a JSON-based database, so we can store the data like documents. So let's create our first table. So I have installed MongoDB in my computer and it is running as a server. So I'm going to create a table. So for that I'm going to use MongoDB Compass software. So let's open. So this basically is a browser for the MongoDB database and gives a very cool front end for the backend database structure. So here we are going to connect to localhost because it's in my current system and it is loaded. So let's create a database first. For that we are going to click this plus button and here is the text field to put the database name. We're going to use online Excel. This is the database name and this is the collection name. So for that, the collection is like a table in SQL. So when you are creating a database, you need to specify a default collection name. So for our project, we're going to use user create database. So you can see our database is created here. Just click on that and you can see our only one table here, user. So in our database, we are going to use tables like user and questions table. So like you would expect in a SQL database, we will use a user table, a question table, an answer table, and a response table. But in MongoDB, it doesn't work that way. We are going to create an admin profile in the user table. So first, let's create a default user who will be the admin. So just click on insert and you can see it basically creates a default ID for the record. So let's put our field name, name of the user. So my name is Project X. Then we're going to create username. Project X. Then we're going to create password. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. And is admin. By the field, we can distinguish if this user is an admin or not. So to write, let's say 1. If the value is 1, that means this is an admin. If the value is 0, so this is not an admin. So we're going to click insert and you can see our first record is inserted. So in our project, we're going to use Python as a backend service which will communicate with the database and send the data to the front end, which we are going to build in Vue JS. So let's create a project. So let's create a project. To create our project, you need to have Node.js installed. So you can download it from the Node.js official website and install it so that you can get the npm command in your command prompt or terminal. So for creating our project, we are going to open command prompt as I am using Windows. And if you are in Ubuntu or Linux, you can open the terminal application and write these commands. We are going to our desktop folder to create our project. So there you have to write first. You have to install a package called create Nuxt app. We are going to use Nuxt as the framework for the Vue. Nuxt as a framework is built in top of Vue and it gives several features added to Vue JS like server-side rendering, single page application, PWA support, and many more. So to install Nuxt, you need to write this command npm install -d for global and write create Nuxt. So this command is going to install Nuxt.js in your system, and you can use the create Nuxt app command from now on. As I have already installed this command in my machine, so I don't need to do it several times. And you can do it, and if you are connected to internet and no problem occurs, you're good to go. So I'm going to break from this command, and I'm going to write create Nuxt app. Then the project name online examples. Press enter, and it's going to ask some questions like project name. That is our project name by default. Press enter, and there's some project description. So you can write some short description for your project. Like I'm going to write online example. Next you have to provide the author name. So for my author name, I'm going to give my name as project X. Now it's going to ask which package manager I want to use to install the project. So I'm going to use npm. Choose the UI framework. I'm going to use none, and the server framework we're going to use none because we're going to build our own server. Then which Nuxt.js module we want to use by default. So Axios is one framework to use consume the REST API services. So we're going to include that. For that, press space. So it's selected Axios, and we don't need Progressive that for now. So press enter. Then we don't need this. So press enter. We don't need any test framework, so none. And we're going to put this as universal SSR. So it will take some time to install the required packages. After it's done, we can open our project and do the code. So now, as you can see, our project has been ready to launch. So it's give us some basic commands how to get it started. So we can insert into this project folder on the exam and to put this command. So let's get to it. CD, and by the way, you can see there's one folder created for our project. So let's get into it. Exam and write npm run play. So it's going to start the server, npm server, which is installed by default inside the project. And by launching the command npm run there, we can run that server to serve our project. So it's now ready. We can open our browser and go to localhost 3000. So you can see our project is now ready, and it has given us a default UI which is inside the project. So now we're going to modify the project and do our online exam. So I'm going to use Visual Studio Code as my editor. It's really easy to use and has many features inside it, and also I can install plugins into it to ease my work. So you can see here is the project structure. So there are several folders. I'm going to explain what is the purpose of each folder, and then we'll dive into the project. So the most important file here is the Nuxt.config.js. So if you open it, it's basically a configuration file for a project. So it's given us, basically a JSON file. So it's given us some name and parameters, and we can tweak them to meet our needs. So its first parameter is the mode. As you can remember, we selected the universal mode while we are creating the project. So it's written universal. This is the head, which will be inserted into every HTML unless we specify it separately in any single page. So it's basically giving the HTML title, the meta tags, and imported the favicon file. So it's going to give us a loading bar, which you can see on the very top of the project, and its default color is given as FFF, which means white. So it's basically not can be seen by default. You can include any global CSS if you want to add here. If you want to use any plugin, you can add it here. Here you can see, as we included Axios, it's inside the modules array. We can add as much as we want. Here, as we have installed the Nuxt.js Axios module, it has provided us some Axios content. So we can use any Axios specific global variables in it. So if you go to this link, you can see all the available options which we can include here. We're going to use the very crucial variable here. And last, there are some build configuration. If you want to put some build configuration before you want to release your website, you can put it here. So now let's go back to the folders. This is .nuxt. It is dynamically generated because I have run this project using npm run rep. So in this Nuxt folder, the dynamically created files are there, which are being served right now. In the assets folder, you can put any asset like images, any files, etc. we use in the project. Components include many Vue files, which can be used later in the project as components. So right now we have a logo component. Let's see what inside it. It's basically giving us this part, this logo part, this animation. It's basically written, but we don't need it for our project, so we're going to delete this. Then layout. So if you have worked in ASP.NET, you already know what layout like. So it's basically a master page which gives us the static content which will be passed to every page, and you can see this inside this template there is one tag called Nuxt. So what is before this Nuxt tag and what is after that this Nuxt tag will be statically placed in every page, and this Nuxt is the variable part where each page will be rendered into it. So we need this default page, but we don't need this styles right now, so we get rid of it. So now it's basically a blank master page. In the middleware part, we basically put authentication files. So if you want to execute some authentication procedure before your page loads, you can put it here. In the node modules, we got a very big number of libraries which are installed when we created our project. So we're not going to bother this folder. This is the main folder of pages. We're going to use this folder a lot because it includes the pages we're going to display. So but right now there is the index page included here. So okay, so it deleted the logo component, so it's basically giving us the error. So let's get rid of the logo. You can see we imported logo from components folder, but we're going to delete it, and we included it in our project. So let's get rid of it. Now let's save. You can see we're back in our project but without the logo because we removed the logo file. So we're going to get rid of all the CSS. Click save. You can see we get back a very basic HTML page. So if you change to any text like it and just click save, it is automatically reloaded. You can see the project is changed. So we're going to start fresh. We're going to delete all this. Let's just delete everything. Okay, so it's basically a blank file. It will not run now. So we're going to stop. In the plugins folder, if you want to create any customized plugin for your project, you can include it here. In the static folder, you can put any static images which will not be changed when the project changes. Like the favicon, we're going to include the Bootstrap, CSS, JS files here. And this is the Vue store. If you want to use the Vue store in this folder, so you can use that. So let's get started. So in our project, we are going to use Bootstrap as our design system. So I'm using Bootstrap 4.3. Make sure you are using this version. And we'll use CDN for getting our Bootstrap. So just go to this getbootstrap.com website and click on get started. You can see the CDN path here. Just copy this path. And we are going to our Nuxt.js file where we will use our Bootstrap component, and adding it to the Nuxt.js file ensures that this Bootstrap file is used in all of our project pages. So I'm going to add a new entry to the link array. So it's just adding a link tag inside HTML content, and the href is not to be copied. So like that, we included our Bootstrap component inside our project. If you go to our project, you will get an error like render function or template not defined in component pages index.php because we deleted everything from our index page. So if we add some components to just check if the Bootstrap is included or not, just include our default Nuxt.js system. Just press Ctrl space. You can see view with default of view. If you click that, you get a basic structure. So inside the template, you are going to add a div, which is the parent div for everything. And I include my h1 and my set. Hit refresh now, and you can see the font has changed. By that, you can ensure that our Bootstrap system is working perfectly. So we have made the basic part of our project ready. I'm going to come back to Vue a little bit later, but first we need to build our backend system, which is going to be built in Python, and we are going to use Flask as the Python framework to connect to the database system and return the result to the Vue JS via REST API. So I'm going to create a new file inside this project. Click on this new file icon, and I'm going to put the name of the file as service.py, and we're going to write our backend code inside it. So it's a good approach to connect using the default database library package which is released for Python. So for connecting Mongo DB database, there is a driver called pymongo, pymongo. So we're going to use that, and it's a very good practice to use a separate file for storing the connection properties because those are very secret credentials to be shared over the internet. So we are going to create a new file called condition.py, and we are going to connect to Mongo DB here. So I'm going to use import from PyMongo. And by the way, if you want to install PyMongo, you just have to open a command prompt and write 3 install PyMongo, and it will get you installed PyMongo. As I've already installed, I don't need to do it again. So from PyMongo, I import Mongo client, and I'm going to create a new function called connect, which will connect to the database and return me the connection object. So on equal to Mongo client, and my host name is localhost, and the port I am using the default port, which is 27017, and it will get you connected, and I will return the call. Okay, so our client is ready, and we have just to call this from our main service file. So I'm going to import the connection object. So we got our connection object, and to build our Flask services, we're going to use some packages from Flask project. So we're going to import Flask JSON file to return the object, return the REST API response as a JSON. And if you want to use this service from other domain, as I am doing it from this domain as localhost, and I'm going to consume it from localhost. So we're going to need pause. Plus pause. So now our basic packages are included. Now we start our Flask program. So we got our project ready to build, and I'll see you in the next video.